going on, everyone? This is Marco once again here on this fun journey, especially in my military, Army National Guard, particularly in the Officer Candidate School. And as you guys wanted, I know some people have been mentioning to make these quick clips of my once a month throughout phase 2 of OCS. And right now it's October of 2023. As you guys can see, once again, it is dark outside. It is currently 5:20 in the morning, and I am on my way to Los Alamitos, to get picked up by the shuttle and be taken to St. Louis Obispo. And from my last month, obviously you guys know that I just had that one exam, and it wasn't too bad. So overall, we got a little bit of our correctable actions, and then obviously we got this weekend coming up, and it looks like it may be more fun coming our way. And I know this upcoming weekend we are scheduled for 2 exams. We're scheduled for the military justice exam and the calls for fire exam. We are also scheduled to do our 9-mile ruck. So that's gonna be fun to do. I'll get more information. I've gotten numerous things. I forgot what the actual time limit was. But I try to make sure that I was keeping like a 15-minute pace for myself throughout this month when I was working out. I believe they always say it's about 17 minutes, but like I said, don't quote me on that yet. Once I am done and I am coming back home on Sunday, I will let you guys know and go from there. But yeah, guys, that's all I got so far. Like I said, I got the notification from some of you guys saying that you guys want me to make these short clips of my monthly IDTs throughout phase 2, which, like I said, my phase 2 is for OCS is currently held at San Luis Obispo. And that's pretty much it. I will get you guys in a little bit. Hopefully I can record a little bit on the the bus getting there, and then pretty much us packing. Once again, it's kind of difficult sometimes because I'm one of the main persons that when we get there, we just start loading up the whole bus and everything, so that way it's faster, efficient, and then we move on to the next roadblock. And so it gets kind of difficult for me to record, but like I said, I don't mind making these short clips for you guys. I don't mind letting you guys know my process throughout my OCS, especially right now with phase 2. But just be mindful, like I always say on every single military stuff that I've done, and pretty much every training or academy or boot camp that you want to call it. Like I said, just because I'm doing it this way, this is the way our scheduling is per our cadre. Sometimes things even change on the fly for them, so they change our schedule, so we have to adjust accordingly. Sometimes the schedule change, what's called, stays the way it is. But just be mindful that just because I have this going on in October does not mean next year in October is going to be the exact same thing. Like I've always mentioned, your experience is going to be different than mine, my experience is going to be different than yours, and my experience is going to be different than someone else's, and so on. So things change. They try to keep it fairly close, but obviously things do change throughout the time. Also, cadre does change as well, so that makes that plays a big role. So everyone does things differently, so I don't want everyone to think that just because I'm making these videos, your process is going to be exactly like mine. So just always be mindful about that. Other than that, guys, I will catch you guys in a little bit as I'm on my way to Los Alamitos, be able to park, have the shuttle pick us up and go from there. Once again, if you want to see, I already have my assault pack right here with me, ready to go. I have my uniforms ready to go. So once we hit ground at San Luis Obispo, I'm good to go. I have my ruck in the back trunk, including my duffel bag or my deployment bag, however you would like to call it. And that's pretty much it. And as I mentioned, like I said, these videos are going to be pretty much very short, very brief, and I'll try to add on a little bit more so that way you guys get a little more information, not just vague information such as, you know, my exams and stuff, but, you know, when I come back, I'll explain more on the exams, how they were, and including the 9-mile rug. So I'll catch you guys in a little bit. So yeah, as you can see, guys, I just arrived. There's only a few of us out here right now. It is currently 6:16 in the morning. The shuttle said that they're supposed to be on time. They said that they're currently leaving from San Diego and should be here around 6:30. So, you know, once again, you know, I'm about 15 minutes early, which is always a good thing. Don't have to worry about rushing and, you know, having to worry about being late or anything like that. You know, that's always the best part. And as if you guys saw, you know, the freeways are sometimes not too friendly, especially when it comes to the horrible traffic from time to time. And if any later, obviously, you know, traffic gets worse as the time, you know, comes around about 6-7 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, as of right now, like I said, guys, yeah, you see, I just got a message saying that they are supposedly on time and should be, yeah, it says, yeah, they still have the same time limit of 6:30 possibly arriving, give or take a couple minutes because of traffic. But yeah, so that's pretty much it right now, guys. What I forgot to mention earlier on, prior to the traffic and everything driving over here, I know I'm supposed to be assigned XO, which is a executive commander officer position for my company for this upcoming month. So stand by, because I'm pretty sure on Sunday when I get done and completed and I continue making this video to finish it off, I'm pretty sure I will be the XO for the month of October, and it's gonna be fun. Kind of, not really, we'll see. But overall, you know, you just have to make a, you know, have a good experience with it. That's the way I always look at it. I always have a good experience with it, have a good time, and you know, go from there. You know, you're gonna mess up, everyone messes up, and you know, this is actually my first actual, I guess, leadership role. You know, like I mentioned before, my previous video when I did phase 1, all I did was the platoon sergeant when I got my pass, and other than that, I've only been squad leader for the most part, or team lead. But other than that, I've never gone over a platoon sergeant. So this will be the first time that I actually get like an actual leadership role outside of the platoon and squad. So stand by, guys, and I will catch you guys shortly. So what's going on, guys? So yeah, as you guys have been following on my last one, where I was pretty much packed and ready to go for, you know, my October drill weekend or IDT for my OCS Phase 2. You know, wasn't too bad. Besides a nice correctable action or smoking or whatever you want to call it that we got on Sunday morning. We did end up taking, once we got there, we arrived, and you know, right away we had to put all our stuff away. We had to put what's it called, our lockers are all set up, our drawers set up. You know, when it comes to all that stuff, you know, no matter how perfect you do it, it's always going to be wrong. So just always be mindful about that. You know, the only thing that, you know, for me it kind of sucks is when they take it out and they unroll everything, you know, especially when you work so hard to roll it to the perfect, you know, length, and you know, everything is perfectly rolled and everything, you know, that's when it gets kind of annoying, but it is what it is, you know. But because they did inspect our bunks or our barracks on Saturday, around Saturday afternoon, and we went in, and obviously we saw all our stuff, you know, scattered everywhere, yeah, you know. But you know, after that, you know, we did all that stuff. We got dressed up into our uniform, which is our OCPs. We ended up taking our military justice exam course that day. We took the classroom lecture portion. Afterwards, obviously we did our review, and we took our test. I did very well on that one. I did pass it. That one was fairly easy for me, at least for the most part. For, you know, obviously having law enforcement experience, it was somewhat similar, so a lot of things were pretty easy for me to understand and adapt to it. Obviously it is somewhat different for the military coursework or the military law, but other than that, for me it was, you know, fairly easy. After that, you know, we went to bed. We went and got up the following day, and before I go any further, obviously Friday night they ended up adjusting our schedule because our 9-mile ruck was supposed to be on Sunday morning, but that got changed to Saturday. That's when, especially for me, I already knew. I was like, something's going on, so obviously Sunday we're gonna pay for something. So we ended up not having our actual PT on Saturday morning. We did like a minor, well, it was still considered PT, but it was just mainly all like stretching and warming up. Like there was no running, no physical activity or anything like that. We did get a little bit of a correctable action on Friday and Saturday, but not too bad for the most part. So Saturday morning we wake up, did a little bit of our so-called PT, which was mainly our stretching. We went, got our breakfast, then went to classroom for a lecture, and this time around we were doing what's it called, calls for fire. You know, when I was, you know, because they give you the study material to kind of start studying it before you go to drill. You know, I do my best to do that. Obviously with work and everything else, you know, sometimes it gets kind of hard, but you know, I still kind of look at the reviews and I kind of skim through it. And when I was skimming through the call for fire, it was kind of difficult to understand it, because it felt like more like it should be like, you know, not classroom work, but actual out on the field work, where, you know, we should be able to do scenarios and stuff like that. That's what it kind of looked like. And you know, so I was like, I think I'm gonna have some, you know, difficulties on this exam. But luckily it wasn't too hard. The exam, luckily the class and the instructor that we had, phenomenal, so it makes it easier to kind of adapt and understand what's going on and what we have to learn. And when it came to the exam was pretty self-explanatory as well, so it wasn't that difficult. I did miss 4. I believe we were able to miss up to 9, I believe, for the 70%. So I did very well on that one for the most part. But like I said, I think that one, it should be more of like actual training out on the field, not a written exam. Like I mentioned probably in my previous videos, when it comes to exams, I hate them because for me, my mind works as, I overthink things, and that's because, especially like when it comes to like law enforcement and scenarios, I hate them because a lot of times it's not realistic, and when you've done so many realistic things, you start like not second guessing yourself, but you start kind of read too much into the question. So you read the question and you're like, well, if this happens, then it could be this answer. If this happens, it could be that answer. So that's the way my mind always works. That's why I try to dumb myself down, because that's the way a lot of people always say it, like, don't read too much into the question, just read the question and answer it. Obviously, sometimes that doesn't work for me, because if I read the question and then go straight to an answer, obviously I'm not reading all the answers correctly, and that's where I mess up too. So it's kind of weird the way my mind works, but it is what it is. I kind of have to adapt to it. I have to, slow down a lot on certain things like that. But, I did get my pass, and we went to, what's it called, our next class, where now we're starting to learn like tactical stuff, so-called, and it was mainly like operation orders that we're now going to start learning. That way we start taking it out to the field, learning tactical stuff, and so on. Then we had our lunch and dinner. About 30 minutes to an hour after dinner, we were able to go get ready for our ruck. We went to our barracks, grabbed our rucks, and changed out our socks and everything, anything that you needed to change out. That's when we realized that, the staff already been in there. They completely, threw all our stuff out of our drawers. Luckily not our lockers, because our lockers are locked, so not too bad there. So that was pretty good. But our drawers, they threw that out. They messed up our beds and our bunks. Got ready, got to the field, got to our starting point, and we had it was a 2 hour. You had 2 hours and 37 minutes to complete it. 9 miles with a ruck that's over 30 pounds, with no water, no liquids, or anything like that. So it has to be, straight 30 pounds or more. If it's under 30 pounds, be mindful. You end up failing it. They do not weigh your ruck until you're done. So always be mindful about that. For me, I believe it was, for the most part, pretty easy. I walk the whole thing. I don't run. I don't jog. The closest thing I do is maybe a power walk, but I walked pretty much the entire thing, and I still had when I remember it was like just under 10 minutes left, so I still had under 10 minutes remaining when I finished it. So be mindful when you're running or jogging or something like that. Be mindful about it. You don't want to exhaust yourself, because it's a pass or fail. It doesn't matter how fast you complete it. You're not getting any extra points for completing it any faster. You're not going to get any points for completing any faster, having a heavier ruck. You're not doing any favors for yourself if you're trying to go above and beyond that. It looks good for a certain extent, but just be mindful it's only a pass or fail. So like for mine, my ruck was 35 when they weighed it. I think it was just a little over 35 point something. But like I said, it doesn't matter. I kind of wish it was probably a little bit less, but you know, it is what it is. Because I remember when I weighed it, I believe it was like just around 33 pounds, and I just want to make sure we use our scale. When we use our personal scales, I try to make sure I'm like 2 to 3 pounds over, so that way I know for a fact when I use their scale, I know I'm going to be good no matter what their scale is. 2 to 3 pounds gives me that leeway to I know I'm not going to be under for sure. But obviously I was a little over, but it is what it is. So like I said, I walked the whole thing. Still had just under 9 minutes to spare, and I believe I think I was the last one to finish too. I don't know, but yeah, got my rug weighed 35 point something pounds. After that, you know, we marched back, went to bed, woke up the next morning, and luckily we did get some sleep. For the most part, it was more of I think we got like a 5-hour lights out thing, so it was pretty good. It was 5 hours at least. Woke up the next day kind of sore with, you know, my feet, but you know, not too bad, because I learned to always elevate my feet after I get done with a nice run or a ruck. Let's see. Once we woke up, went outside in our OCPs, and that's when we pretty much, what was it? No, sorry. Wait, let me check. No, sorry. Woke up, went to breakfast right away, and right after breakfast, shortly afterwards, about an hour after breakfast, because we had breakfast, went to our classroom for a little briefing that our classmates had to do because of the haircut issues. Guys, make sure you get a haircut, and I mean an actual haircut from a barber. The only reason you should be cutting your hair is either one, you know how to cut your own hair because you're like a barber or something, if you've done it for a while, or two, you're literally shaving your head for the most part. Do not try to go there trying to do your own hair or trying to taper or fade your own hair. It looks ridiculous. You're literally always patching and having all these different patches all over. You don't have a proper taper, you don't have a proper fade. That's why you have to go to an actual barber. Do not do that. You know, it's ridiculous. So some of my peers had to do a briefing on that, or a little lecture for us for that, and you know, demonstrate, you know, the Army regulations and how they should be done. After that was done, that's when the fun began, where we were on the blacktop, and one of our captains told us that apparently last month the barracks and the bathrooms were left horrible and disgusting, and so we had to pay the consequence for it. Fully understandable. You know, it was about an hour and a half to 2 hours of just full on working out and everything. We had logs that we had to carry. So, you know, it is what it is. I still kind of had a blast. It was, you know, I was still kind of sore, but, you know, like I said, the soreness goes away. You always have to push yourself through it to get stronger. So that's the way I always look at it. It sucks, but, you know, just keep pushing through it. After that was done, we put the logs away. I believe the logs were about, I would say about 67 feet long, probably about 60 pounds or so. We were broken up into like groups of 3s or 4s, and you know, obviously we were lifting it together, not individually. Then after that was done, you know, we got a little lecture about, you know, how we should start acting and how, you know, we should technically be, you know, improving as phase 2 continues. and how we're still not improving. You know, all the same mentality games. After that, you know, we were let loose to go back to the barracks and try to hurry up and clean up, clean the barracks, clean the tax office, the cadre's office, clean our classrooms. We then had to also change it to our civies. That's when I knew that I was going to get selected, like I mentioned earlier, as the XO, or the executive officer, commanding officer, which is second in command. Which, you know, that happens at the end, where, you know, you get a briefing with the cadre that's gonna, you know, grade you in a sense, and they tell you, like, you know, what they expect. So that's pretty much it. And you know, as of right now, you know, I looked at my folder that, you know, gets passed on. Luckily, when you're not the first one, it somewhat gets kind of easier, because obviously the first person that has it has to kind of put everything together for the most part. So they already had it, you know, for me. All I have to do is, you know, copy and paste, change certain things, update certain things. So it makes it somewhat easier. Obviously, I still have to do my part in communicating with my CO, my commanding officer. I also have to communicate with you know, those, you know, that are in leadership underneath me, and then also have to communicate with Phase 0 leadership, so that way we're all on the same page. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I'm happy to hold one of the big threes. I hope to, you know, do very well in this leadership role, so that way I can get my pass and go, and you know, help my next buddies to, you know, get their goal as well in their leadership. Because remember, yeah, you're getting graded individually, but remember, individually, you still have to work as a group, as a team. That's the way you're always going to get your pass and your go. So be mindful about that. If you're a great leader, you know how that works. You know how to delegate. You know how to communicate with people. That's the best way to do it. If you're going to be that individual, you're going to have a hard time. You know, people do slip from the cracks, you know, through the cracks, I mean. That's why you do have horrible leadership out there, no matter where you're at. But it is what it is. If you're a good leader, make sure that, you know, you're doing the right things. You're improving the organization that you're at. Remember that you represent that, you know, you represent everything, and you do the best to the abilities of that, you know, that organization that you have in front of you, that you know, company, business, whatever you're in. You know, that name's always going to be in front of you. But remember, that name, your last name's always going to be right there from your shoulder to shoulder. Remember, that's who you're going to always represent. Remember that. So you got to represent your family, your last name, making sure that you're always doing everything properly. And then obviously, you know, represent that organization and make sure that that hard work is put in. So always remember that. But other than that, guys, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please drop down your comments. If you have any questions of, you know, if you want me to go further in depth on any type of executive officer stuff or any type of leadership roles, you know, I don't mind. Drop your questions. I don't mind answering any questions out there. I don't mind answering any comments. Anything you want me to go further in depth, feel free to drop it down there, and I'll make another video if you like. If not, I will just, you know, reach out to you guys and answer every single question you guys put out there. But other than that, guys, I will catch you guys next time.